running never did much good. Hiding doesn't last forever. You can't run faster when it's you you're running from. So you throw your hands up like doves to the setting sun. Somewhere down the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil. You'll find the mysteries enthralling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.
Welcome to Karen Holton's podcast. Karen permanently lost 178 pounds and found happiness and success by following her own advice. She has now developed that advice into the quantum health transformation. Heal, evolve, and thrive. Karen's website offers a free webinar workshop series, and you'll also find tools, methods, and practices to assist you to become the change you want to see in the world. She believes that we are all connected. Heal the planet by healing yourself. Connect with Karen at her website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, and through Facebook at Facebook.com/Quantum Health Transformation. Now for the podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Quantum Health Transformation version 3.0. Today is step 3, Indigo. Understand and use perception within the construct to manifest change. And this is the video workshop. Step 3 is designed for those who wish to become the change they wish to see in the world. I provide ascension skills to assist with personal evolution and information about how we can change the past, the present, and the future. Learn about ways that we can work with the ebb and flow of the planet to improve outcomes, and about quantum field holography. Discover techniques to engage the imagination for better manifesting results, the positive aspects of disappointment and making mistakes, and how to supercharge the law of attraction. Be sure to also check out the corresponding video tutorial. My students today are Don Rogers, Canadian Spinja, and Ray. Check out their channels. Their links are in the description below. To find out more about my work, all of the links are featured below in the description. Subscribe to my channels, leave me some comments, smash that like button, and share this video with your friends. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to step 3. We've been motoring through. It's been quite a big program. I sure appreciate you showing up consistently. It's awesome.
Oh, we're really excited to be here, and this is the like you said, this is the really good stuff. Everything was so everything that we've done to this point is so important, and the way that you've laid it out and presented it, it just makes sense that you just keep building and building. And now we're starting to get into the stuff that we've only touch the surface, so we're super excited about all of this.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. I'm so glad, and I'm so glad to share it with you. Go ahead, Don.
I was just gonna say, as we were starting, it was literally okay, I'm gonna push record. I could feel my energy rise, oh good, here we go. My inside got excited, my inner light was yay, it's this time. So yeah, it's great. I feel Wonderful. So much different than I did when.
Wonderful. And the other thing I want to remind everybody about is I've just touched the surface on many aspects of improving our physical, mental, and spiritual lives. Any point that I make within this program, you can then go and Google search, or maybe not Google, maybe another search, YouTube or wherever, and find all kinds of people who've done deep dives on every single portion of this program, and you can go as deep as you want. This has been basically just giving you the introduction to everything. So with that, I'll go into the screen share. Here we are. And for those of you who are on audio, I highly recommend you either go to the website and check out the whole program, and or do come over and watch this in the video format so that you can see the different illustrations and images and get an impression of the whole program if you're not already familiar with it. Quantum Health Transformation is a new health paradigm, and it was written by myself, Karen Holton. Version 3.0, Advanced Training for Healers and Alternative Health Practitioners. Step 3, Indigo, Understand and Use Perception within the construct to manifest change. Now, this program is made for everybody because, in a way, we're all healers. And as we wake up, we all become alternative healing practitioners. Welcome. This PDF primer is meant to accompany the corresponding live recorded tutorial. Quantum Health Transformation version 3.0, Advanced Training for Healers and Alternative Health Practitioners. Step 3, Indigo, Understand and Use Perception within the construct to manifest change. Both the primers and the live Quantum Health Transformation workshops will be presented in descending number order when published to YouTube and my website. Start with step 9 and work your way down to do step 1 last. And just as a reminder, all information presented in any Quantum Health Transformation media was received in a download and was channeled from the Living Library, also known as the Akashic Records. Further, this material was downstepped and developed through the filter of my own personal life experience. I am not an expert, a mathematician, or a scientist. I'm a seeker of knowledge and wisdom. The Quantum Health Transformation Program is ideal for those who are awakening and for those who are experiencing ascension symptoms, but the content is beneficial for everyone who wishes to experience a better quality of life. This system of quantum health transformation works well for me. However, you must synthesize this information and take only that which serves you. At the very least, it is my hope that from this material, you will be stimulated to seek your own inner wisdom. And please note that any part of the Quantum Health Transformation Original, version 2.0 or version 3.0 series can be copied and shared for free under the Fair Use Clause, as long as credit is given to myself, Karen Holton. Thank you. And for those of you who are inclined to really get into the program and make best use of it, you can help support my work by purchasing the PDF copy available from my website. And if you're working with other people, please ask your clients and your customers to purchase the PDF copies. They're only $3.99 Canadian, and they have all the links embedded right into the program so that you can just click and go to the different resources that I'm offering throughout the program. So today, I know the title is kind of big and daunting, but if you take a look at what I'm really talking about, it's ask, believe, and receive. You do not control the environment around you, but you do control your responses to it, which in turn creates a new environment. Believe it or not, we can influence the past, the present, and the future. Continuing from Quantum Health Transformation Step 4, now that we have a better understanding of how we form our perceptual arena and have found ways to adjust our outcomes, we can move on to manifesting more so that our lives better resemble our desires. So this is part 1, seeing is believing. We've all heard that thoughts become things, and we've all heard about using the law of attraction to create the life that we desire. And most of us have had mixed results with our attempts to do this. We've all heard the saying, seeing is believing, which usually refers to the thought of, I'll believe it when I see it. But consider this option. When we see something in our mind's eye or our imagination and believe that it is possible for us, then seeing is also believing. The second option is the one I use as a driving force to bring into the three-dimensional reality that which I desire but do not yet physically experience. So it all starts in the creative mind, seeing it in as much detail as we can, embellishing it and bringing it into reality. That's how it starts. It's a very important step. Part 2, work with the natural energy flow of the planet, growth and renewal. Year in and year out, there is a harmonious flow to the planet and all living things. If we divide the year by its equinoxes, we find half of the year contributes to growth and half of the year contributes to rest and renewal. Spring and autumn are periods of beginnings and endings, while summer and winter, or the solstices, are the event horizons. By working with the natural ebb and flow of growth and renewal, we can supercharge our manifesting potential. So let's take a look at autumn. In the Northern Hemisphere, that's between September 21st and December 21st. This is the time to complete projects, review successes, and consider some different approaches to the things that could have gone better. Prepare for the upcoming period of rest and introspection. As projects wind down to a period of less activity, we have time to review and plan while preparing for the temporary contraction phase. Take long walks, nourish your body, and plan for the winter during this phase. Winter. In the Northern Hemisphere, this is between December 21st and March 21st. Now is the time for rest, introspection, and for festivities. Minimize your workload and make time for more sleep. Support the body during this phase by getting outside to enjoy the crisp air and eat nutrient-dense foods while you celebrate this season of contraction. This is the best time to explore our spirituality, for contemplation and self-reflection. Keep your loved ones close and let them know how much you appreciate them. And then there's spring, which is springtime, which is now the season we're finally in here in Alberta. Northern Hemisphere, it runs from March 21st to June 21st. This season initiates the expansion phase and is best spent making needed adjustments as we plan our upcoming projects. This is the time for research, reconnecting, and networking with others. We gear up to more physical. Sorry?
Sorry, I just coughed.
Oh, okay, sorry. This is a time for research, reconnecting, and networking with others. We gear up to more physical activity as we continue to eat well and spend more time out of doors. This is a great time for detoxification and preparation for the abundance that will soon appear. Summer, Northern Hemisphere, is from June 21st to September 21st. Summer is the time to get out there and enjoy the projects we have planned and are ready to develop to full potential. The tweaking and planning are done, and now is the time to just get out there and do it. Take advantage of this powerful expansion phase. Work may be your main focus, but continue to eat well and spend as much time out of doors as possible. Make time for plenty of physical exercise. So in this way, we're working in harmony with the seasons. So there's a natural energetic flow of contraction and expansion, and we can tap into that, and that'll help supercharge our manifesting. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I am appreciating this because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually writing down. I know we've told you, and I don't know, like I'm just going to share with the listeners and viewers. The intention for our family is that we are working towards acquiring a small homestead. And so as you were breaking things down and about working with the natural patterns and working with the earth, I was actually like, I'm inspired to, I'm coming up with a plan for, like, like, for example, for autumn, it would be the time to clean up and, like, put our garden beds to sleep, winterize the buildings, like, prepare for the animals being sheltered in the winter. Winter would be the time for us to rest and recharge from the craziness of the rest of the seasons. It's our time to plan, crops, animals, different things like that. And for me, it would be also the optimal time to do my spinning and knitting and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Spring, working again with the earth, that's when we plant, like, plant the crops and remove the winterization. That's when the baby animals come, and you just clean up and you prepare for summer, which takes you into the crops being in full swing, markets being in full swing, harvest as we go, and the washing and prepping of wool. So it when you break it down, it just really makes sense.
It's a very functional cycle, like.
Yeah, and it brings us back into harmony with the planet. We're a part of this whole system. We're all connected. So, but that's been removed with the modern society. And when we tap back into that, we feel better. We've even had discussions before about a 5-season calendar and how the calendars have been bastardized. And, if we had 13 months that followed the lunar calendar, that'd be way more in harmony with our energies and what makes sense to us and our circadian rhythms and other rhythms that we have. So this is just, like I said, a jumping off point for people to reconnect, with the energies and the cycles of the planet. So part 3, don't run from your situation. That which we consciously or subconsciously create remains for some time in our 3-dimensional reality. So don't litter your life with manifestations only to discard or replace them before they come to fruition due to disappointment or changing desires. So in other words, don't be fickle, and in our society, it's really easy. We really want something. And then when it starts to come into our life, we go, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. And, then we want to discard it before it's even come to full manifestation. We want to start something else. That just creates chaos, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help us to reach our goals. Instead, choose to manifest the things that will form a foundation for other, more productive desires. Find new uses for that which you brought about, but now feel the urge to discard. Stop stalling your success. Brick by brick, you can build a secure future. Disappointment. Yeah, because a lot of manifestations bring disappointments. Things don't feel the way we thought they would, So let it be a road bump, not a roadblock on your path to joy. And also remember, mistakes are the portals of discovery. The lessons will come no matter what we ask for. Sometimes our manifesting the thing we desired so much doesn't look or feel like what we imagined it would be. But it came into your life for a reason. So ride it out and see what you can learn from it. Try to remember that nothing good or bad lasts, because we are involved in a living, expanding, and contracting ebb and flow situational life experience. So much like the seasons, we have all kinds of cycles that ebb and flow, expanding and contracting. So give the things that come into our life. And I would especially apply this to people who want a relationship. Oh, they're lonely and they really want a relationship. And the relationship comes just as they asked, and it doesn't look or feel like what they thought. Well, maybe that person's in our life for another reason. Maybe it's to teach us to go within, to work out our own stuff and our own stumbling blocks, or maybe they were meant to be a really, really close friend. And it takes time to get to know people and to work through our own insecurities and stuff. A word about running amok after we shut off some social controls. Some folks wonder what will become of society if we step outside of our cultural socialization. Well, my answer to that is, quite frankly, for a few, this socialization works, but for many of us, it's holding us back from maturing as a species. Following a mainstream path allows us to be controlled by a bureaucratic, economic, political, medical, media system, which pays no attention to our health or our spirituality because there's no financial profit in it. Once we stray in a positive way, we become healthier in our thinking and being, which has a positive ripple effect within society. Kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall, but if we remain healthfully intact, we are prepared for anything. Before I move on, do you folks have anything you want to add?
No, it was just interesting how you mentioned about relationships, and the man I was involved with before Don was in the picture. He was somebody that and I'm going to say I still love him to death. He still has a place in my heart. He's actually still on my phone bill.
He's actually a pretty cool dude.
But what happened is that we got romantically involved too soon. I was not in a place where I had any business being in a relationship. And so what happened is that I ended up growing and working on my trauma and trying to become a better person. And he he supported me, absolutely supported me, like did nothing to clip my wings at all, but he was happy in his little rut.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was trying to encourage him, but at the same time I didn't want to push him because I didn't want to, there was no fixing as far as I was concerned. But he just made the choice to stay where he was. And so eventually I outgrew him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's still in his place, and and it's his choice, and I wish him all the luck in the world. But we just and it's what happens when one person is just happy where they are and the other person wants to keep growing and evolving.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So now I want to move on to part 4, corrupted memories. Nothing that we have experienced until now is universally real or true. The past is made up of perceptual perceptional realities, which are far from accurate. And so it is best not to take them too seriously. Even if we believe what happened to us is real, why not go back and rewrite your story? I have found this to be very beneficial for healing from trauma and disappointment. So say something terrible happened to somebody, and all of us have had terrible things happen from one time or another. Every time we bring up that memory, we have an emotional response. We remember it differently, slightly differently. We add to it, we embellish it, we put it away, and the next time we bring it up, we do the whole process again. And pretty soon, what was a trauma for us when we were younger now becomes an even bigger trauma. And every time we try to take it out and sort through it and fix it, we just seem to be making it worse, and it just grows energetically. And that's embedded in our energetic field as well as in our subconscious and in our conscious minds. I know I've done it myself. And so being a person who has had a lot of, well, I should say significant amount of trauma in my earlier years, it was important for me to find a different way of dealing with it. So instead of taking it out and embellishing it and then, having it affect me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I just found a better way of dealing with it, which is to not take it out and look at it at all. And this is far from escapism. So I want to give you an example of one way that I dealt with some of my childhood trauma regarding my relationship with my parents. When I was a child, my mother was very busy and she made very little time to visit with me after school. I'd come home from school and she'd be reading the newspaper. Every day I come home and she'd be reading the newspaper. And she wouldn't hear a word I said. And as her eyes never lifted from the newspaper, she'd kind of go, that's nice. It didn't matter what I said. I could stop mid-sentence and she wouldn't even notice. And it really hurt my feelings. And in many other ways that I won't get into, my mother and my stepfather were not there for me emotionally. They weren't really interested in me or what happened to me or how my day went. And this always bothered me until the day I purposely corrupted my memory. And the reason I did this was because I wanted something good, not just bad, to be in my memory banks. I wanted to create a fake memory that I could bring out and look at that would make me feel happy, would make me feel loved, would give me all the things that I didn't get from my parents. So I imagined that every day after school, my mother prepared a little tea party where she gave me all of her attention as she listened to my account of the day. Each time I had a troubled memory of my past relationship with my mother, I simply replaced it by remembering my corrupted memory. And this made me feel happy, secure, and loved. It didn't matter that it wasn't true because it made me feel good. And I never told another living soul. Then a few months later, I was visiting my mother, and all of a sudden, like out of the blue, she turned to me and she said, "Do you remember the tea parties we used to have after school?" I was shocked. How had my mother somehow gained the memory of something that I had constructed that never happened, and I never told her about it? So corrupted memories not only made me feel better, but they seemed to somehow change the past. I never told my mother about my corrupted memory, but she remembered it. So I know this is an unbelievable story, but I swear this is true for me. And that's why I use this method of corrupting past memories for resolving trauma and just creating a happier now where I can now create what I want now. And that brings a happier future. Dawn, did you want to add to this?
Yeah, Spin's just kind of writing it out. We had an experience yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was I had a dog. Well, I had two dogs, and they were the best of friends. And I found myself in a situation where my mom had to look after them for me for a while, and so then things got better, and then she and my father retired. She ended up passing away, so my father had the two dogs, and they were getting to be too much for him. And I was living in a place where I could take the both of them. But the one dog, he had an attachment to my father because like my father was a very broken man. And my dog Panzer knew it, and he just gravitated towards him all the time. And so I was retelling this story to Dawn, and like there was part of me that like I was regretting it because of how my father treated me, and like the end of it, the like when he passed away, we were estranged. And so as I was talking to Dawn yesterday, there was part of me like I was crying because like I felt regret to a certain degree for leaving my dog with him. But then it's like, no, I left him there for the right reasons. At the time, I saw how broken my father was, and I saw how Panzer wanted to fix him. And so as much as I wanted Panzer with me, because I I loved that dog as much as I love my boys now. I made the decision that it was better that I left the dog with my father, and I really do believe that Panzer did help him, and
Yeah.
probably added time to his life.
Yeah. So you went back and reframed the situation to one that you could live with and have a greater understanding and compassion and see it differently so that you could live with it. And then it's no longer holding that huge negative energetic charge within your being and in your awareness. Is that accurate, Spin?
Yes, yeah, I can basically, there was a part of me that was beating myself up for letting my dog go, but the other part's like, wait a minute, you did it for the right reasons, and
Yeah.
that is where the dog wanted to be too.
Yep. 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 Exactly.
So yeah,
sorry,
on
go
it.
ahead.
You've already beat yourself up for that. You need to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because we are our worst punishers. We go over things over and over again, even if it was not our fault. We tend to blame ourselves. We're really hard on ourselves, and that doesn't do any good. Our overall energetic imprint is distorted, and we need to take control of that, just like we do our physical health. We need to take control of our mental health. So, in short, if the past is holding you back or preventing you from believing in a better you, simply corrupt the old stories and make up better ones. Or, as in the case of Spin, view it differently, see it differently, put a positive spin on it so that you can at least live with it and it's no longer haunting you. And in scientific terms, we are altering our quantum field holography. Think of your imagination as a canvas, your breath is like the paintbrush, and your creativity is the paint. The past, the present, and the future all belong to you. Everybody thrives when we have a mission, and there is no greater mission than to become the change we wish to see in the world. Sometimes, though, we need a little help from consultation and support services. Have you discovered that this world is not what you thought it was? Have recent global events awakened you and leave you feeling unsettled? Do you feel isolated by your new, not so popular beliefs? It is a big shock to wake up and find that the old familiar world is gone. It can be disturbing to go down the various rabbit holes, only to find that the information is difficult to digest, and few people are willing to talk openly about it. Would you like to learn how to thrive in this new state of awareness? You are not a conspiracy theorist. You are awakening, and once you find your way through it, there are many blessings waiting on the other side. My name is Karen Holton, and I offer vital services that may be just what you need, and support for your journey into the weird and wonderful. Check out my awakening support and ascension consultation services, created to support individuals with their chosen alternative realities and lifestyles, health and recovery, and their spiritual adventures. For more details, check out the various vital services found on my website, and be assured that I have found personal success with every category featured. My website is www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton HealthCoach.com. Part 5, the Argyle approach to create energy for change. All things come into being as a process which unfolds over what we experience as time. Situations have a start point and increase energetically to a peak, and then start to decline. All things experienced in the three-dimensional reality follow an ebb and flow model, much like an Argyle pattern. Once we decide on a specific goal or outcome or manifestation, the process begins in that moment. And this is what free will means. We are free to will anything into our experience which benefits us as a learning experience. Just remember the saying, this too shall pass. Nothing too good or too bad lasts. So everything, once we start to imagine it and decide on what we want, the energy starts to build, but it takes time for it to peak. And it overlaps with previous desires and previous intentions. So everything is in a constant state of increase and decrease at the same time. And it's really good to be aware of that. And then we don't get impatient, because impatience can sometimes muddy the water and slow down bringing to us what it is we want. Look for evidence of your desired outcome in your common everyday experiences to confirm that your manifestation is in the works. Just put it out there, and soon you will see that you are on track as evidence appears in small and larger ways. You will soon see opportunities to assist you to gain your desired outcome. This is called working towards your goal. Cooperate with coincidences. Stack energy for desired outcomes, increases probability, and will mathematically multiply more coincidences. Work with them. Notice those just noticeable differences and synchronicities. So what I do when I'm in the manifesting process, I notice those just noticeable differences. Like, for instance, if I'm trying to increase my financial situation, I notice money coming to me in even small ways. Money might come to me in the form that I might have an old piece of junk that I sell on Facebook Marketplace and I make $20 from. Like, there's so many ways that we can notice opportunities to increase our energy to help with our manifestation. The other thing is stacking coincidences by working with your goal. And I'm going to give you an example from Dawn, who's a workshop member here. Dawn reached out to me because he wanted to thank me for the influence my videos have had on his family. And in doing so, I introduced him to some other things and supported the work he did. And that helped him to get his YouTube channel started and going. I'm not saying I'm responsible for it. Dawn did the work. It was Dawn's manifestation. But through myself and from reaching out to Robert Khalil and even Chris Matthew from the Forbidden Knowledge Network, he's stacking his potentials to achieve his goal, which I believe is a successful YouTube channel, and I believe he's well on his way. Anyway, Dawn, I'm speaking for you, so I'll be quiet and let you, if you want to add anything about stacking coincidences, working towards your goal, and those just noticeable differences.
Yeah, I know she's just bursting at the seams. You're absolutely right. Like, she showed me the trail of how we got there, and I'm never one to not kick the door open on things. And she's like, you should watch this. I was like, no, I should talk to these people. And the scenarios just started piling up. Like, I would talk to one person and they were like, hey, did you know this person? And then, like, I would get the nerve up to contact somebody like you because, like, not to go too far back into it, but I was put under hypnosis on the typical skeptic, which led to this, to this, to this, to this. But no, they all stacked up on top of it. And now the friend that I had the breakdown about on the last episode is actually in the process of getting internet in the very rural area that he is in. And he wants to appear on several podcasts because he is been in high times several times for his personal horticulture. And he doesn't have a front yard. He has a set of very large gardens, and it's going to be his legacy. I'm going to get him on some podcasts and he's going to just give away his knowledge to the world. And I couldn't have done any of this without the set of things that came to here.
Absolutely. So, and we affect each other. So you've added to my success, I've added to your success, and it just keeps networking, and it's so fabulous. It's like a garden in itself. So I wish the very best to your friend and with his health, and I just know you guys are going to be successful at everything that you put your hand to, because you've already got these energetic principles well in hand. And so that we can encourage other people to not give up and to keep trying. So at this point, I want to introduce a note about turbulence, because shit hits the fan no matter what you're doing. You know, it's two steps forward, one back. There are those things that we never expect to come out of the woodwork. The government decides it wants to get paid back for something it gave you to help you out at one point, or you end up with taxes that are owing that you didn't expect, or you might get evicted, or God knows what, or someone you love dies. There's so much turbulence. So I thought it was important to take a look at what is turbulence. So turbulence is a concept featured in chaos theory, and chaos theory is part of quantum mechanics. And it's the chaotic state experienced just before manifestation. Energy is pulled from subatomic space, which is also known as 0 point or the Planck level, causing a destabilizing effect as it creates drag, and the wavicles cease to be both matter and energy. They solidify as either physical or energetic, creating the outcome we have chosen. And there's more about this if you go back and review step 4. So chaos theory, basically, when scientists observe reality very, very small, like the size of an atom to the negative 10th power, that's very, very small. Nothing is solid. Everything is made up of energy and sort of wave particle duality. And it's only when we observe something and see something happening that we then give an interpretation to it. And then it becomes what they call standard scalar waves. So it draws energy from our reality to create drag and to make a decision to become more solid in our perception, and no longer both energy and matter. Now it becomes something physical that we can take to the bank. So even though physical is an illusion, let's just use that term, because in our three-dimensional reality, things appear to be very, very physical. And we depend on some of the laws of our physical reality. Like, for instance, you don't want to step off from a cliff because you will fall and likely damage your body to the point where you no longer have life. So, the physical, you have to pay attention to it, even though intellectually we can understand that things are actually energetic. And so when you break everything down to its smaller components, everything has wave particle duality, also known as wavicles, and is expressed in both mass and energy. In practical terms, turbulence means things get messy, even painful, before your desired outcome becomes manifest. So when the shit hits the fan, rejoice, because your reward is closer than you think. Now is not the time to give up. So when you get an unexpected bill, or you become ill, or someone dies on you, rather than become overwhelmed with stress and anxiety and all these negative thought patterns, instead rejoice. Now, in the case of someone you love passing away, it's not really likely you're going to rejoice, but in a way you can, because they're in a better place. They're no longer suffering, and we're only apart from them from a very short time until we join them. So, so things get messy. And when they get messy, you know that what you're desiring is coming. So I'm going to tell you a joke. It's not a very good joke, probably not meant for children, but it illustrates this quite nicely. There's a couple, and they have 2 sons, twin boys, and one of them is an incurable optimist, and the other one is an incurable pessimist. No matter what they do for the pessimistic son, he's never happy, he's never satisfied. And no matter what they do for the optimistic son, he's never pessimistic. He's always seeing this bright, sunny side of everything. And so their parents went to a specialist and asked how they could somehow create some balance within their boys. And the specialist says, well, their birthday's coming up. So the son who's a pessimist, you fill his room with every toy he ever dreamed possible. And the other son, who's the incurable optimist, what you do is you just fill his room with horse shit. That's all he gets is horse shit. And that'll help them to equalize. So the parents did that, and the boy's birthday came, and the pessimistic son went into his room, and here he had all these toys. And instead of appreciating what he had, he goes, oh, all I got are these crappy toys. These are not very good. And, they break, and this isn't the color I wanted. And he's got nothing but negativity. And out of the optimist son's room, they hear him whistling and singing, and they go, what the hell? And they open his door and they look in and hear the kids shoveling the horse shit. And they said, son, why are you so happy? And he says, ha ha ha, you can't fool me. Where there's shit, there's a pony.
Ah!
And so when the shit hits the fan, where there's shit, there's a pony. So when things go terribly wrong or aren't what you want, just go, whistle a little tune and know that your version of a pony is on its way.
Oh, this is going to be incorporated into our day-to-day, Karen. Where's the pony? I already see this.
I want my
That's what I do. When the shit hits a fan, I say out loud to the universe and to my higher self, I say, ha ha ha, you can't fool me. Where there's shit, there's a pony. So it comes back to using your courage to step outside of your comfort zone and grasp a quantum reality with all of its benefits. And you may want to go back and review step 9 for more details. To write your own happy story, simply pick a new, uncharted, but thought out, desired manifestation point on your nubby ball and watch for the resulting changes to unfold in time. So you may want to take your nubby ball tool and go, okay, this is about where I am right now. This is where I want to be. And it really helps to clarify things. And as you learned in step 4, you will need to keep bringing yourself back to your new route, which means bringing yourself back to new thought patterns, new vocabulary, and new beliefs. But soon you'll be able to see the patterns in experiences as they unfold and plot the future by fine-tuning your desires or fine-tuning your thought patterns and your beliefs and your actions, which is your vocabulary and your choices. So as you get closer to your goal and your manifestation starts to appear, then you can fine-tune it and go, okay, a little more of this, a little less of that, a little bit different color, and you just start fine-tuning it. And pretty soon you can see light at the end of the tunnel, which is what we all want. So do you folks have anything you want to add to that?
Well, like everybody has heard us say ad nauseum, we are trying to manifest the homestead, and it's just funny because we're just getting caught up from a series of unfortunate events that has happened to us over the winter. Things are starting to look good. Bills are coming down because it's spring, and our hot water tank blew the seal on it again, and Ray's floor was soaking wet again the other day, and we have to turn the hot water on and from the tank and the power supply each time we're using it, which is a hugely frustrating thing because our landlord is kind of MIA. And it's really kind of had us all downtrodden. And then it's like, but wait, if this is happening, where's the pony? Right? We want homestead. Where's the pony?
Yeah. We're looking. It's there. We know it's there.
Yeah. So it was very valid what you were just talking about to make that overlap in our day-to-day right now.
Yeah. And it's hard to rejoice when things are not going well, when things are frustrating. But when you look back, 5 years from now, when you look back, you can see how that was all part of the plan. Very, very interesting the way things play out.
Well, and we're also like, for me, I'm like, I can't speak for these guys, but we might be on the same page. For me, I fight back, like, and when I do feel downtrodden, I fight back by going on a gratitude rampage.
Yeah.
Like, I'll use my job for example. Okay, I mean, really, I would rather be at the farm working for myself, and I have all of these plans on how I want to be of service to the community, and I feel like my wings are being clipped.
Mhm.
In the moment, though, when I look at like the job that I have to go into, and like spend as much time as I do, I'm getting paid to do what I love. I am surrounded by people that like I do have to guard my heart, because there's some politics and stuff that I have no desire to participate in, but it's an environment where you don't have to. And so what it comes down to is I'm getting paid to do something that I love, and our bosses just they genuinely appreciate us, and they show it. So right now, in the moment, I am in the best position that I could possibly be in. So
Yeah.
it is, we experience moments of frustration because it's not exactly where I want to be, but it is the best possible scenario that I could have in the 3D for the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. The other thing I wanted to mention is most of you are familiar with Abraham Hicks, and Abraham Hicks says that it's a vibrational match. So if we want something, we have to create the vibrational match for it. So although, as we learned in step 6, part 3 on emotional detoxification, all of our emotions are important and valid and have a place. But instead of becoming overwhelmed with sadness or anxiety, it's better to be, like what you said, a gratitude rampage, or do something to raise your frequency. And that does help you to bring into fruition, that which you want to manifest. So there's another example of that. So this is the Quantum Health Transformation Step 3 conclusion. And in the Step 3 primer, you learned techniques to manifest more so that your life better resembles your desires. By using your imagination, you can believe in that which you see. By working with the flow of the planet, we make best use of natural cycles to increase productivity. When dealing with disappointment along the way, it is valuable. When dealing with disappointment along the way, it's a valuable learning experience. And corrupting negative memories enhances the present and makes a more desirable future possible. All things experienced in the 3D reality follow an expansion and a contraction model, much like an Argyle pattern, and we are free to will anything into our experience that benefits us. And for those of you that have the primer, here's the link to the complete step 3 videos, the video tutorial and the video workshop. This concludes the Quantum Health Transformation version 3.0 Advanced Training for Healers and Alternative Health Practitioners. Step 3, Indigo, understand and use perception within the construct to manifest change. Please feel free to contact me for more information and for assistance with your awakening process. I'm grateful for all the forces that assist me with the production of this free 9-step online course. And so if you haven't done so already, I do recommend that you go and watch the step 3 video tutorial. And then when you're ready, please join me for the next step, which is step 2, Violet, integration with your higher selves. So in the next step, next week, I'm going to teach you how to build a framework that's ideally suited to yourself so that you can have a rich spiritual life. And if you would like to contact me, my name is Karen Holton. I'm a holistic wellness coach and a talk show host. And you can find me and my material at www.karenholton.com. KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. You can find me on YouTube and Rumble and Telegram and Odyssey and on the Forbidden Knowledge Network and on all audio podcasts under the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton. And if you like, you can email me at quantumhealthnow@gmail.com. And if you have the PDF version of this lesson, you will see that I have supplied you with all the links to all of my free resources, and they are abundant. Everything you need to know and where to find me. And please do subscribe to my channels, like my content, and offer me some comments. I'd love to hear from everybody. And so that's it for the lesson for today. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And I'm just wondering if you folks have any final thoughts or perspectives you want to share with the listeners and the viewers.
I just want to thank you again, Karen, for inviting us to take part in this, because it's been confirmation for us. Like I know they say, like you have the answers within, but it's also, like I look at you, I have so much respect for you, and like you share so much knowledge, and going through this, like doing this episode today, there's been so many things that I've just been able to tick off my list, because we've been trying and we've kind of been doing it blindly, and to get the confirmation is so comforting that we're on the right, we're going in the right direction. Even right down to, I was in the shed the other day, just we're still trying to organize some stuff. I brought Abraham Hicks's book, The Vortex, in. And with you mentioning, it's like, okay, you know what? This is the time I think I need to crack that book and just enhance things even further.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Like the synchronicities. I guess what I'm saying is everything that we talked about today, for us, it's happening. So if anybody, like to the people who are listening, if it's not happening for you yet, keep pushing through, keep doing it. Everything that you have said today, a lot of it we're already doing, and we are seeing it, right down to like when you used the example of the small amounts of money trickling in. That's what's happening. That's how we are staying afloat, because it's hard. Like everybody's having, like it's hard right now with the price of everything going up. And for us, like we'll get to the end of the month and it's like, oh man, like, are we going to have to play an overdraft? Okay, that's what it's there for. But somehow it's always seemed that we've been able to stay above float, and there's just been like that perfect amount of money comes in to save our butts once more.
Wonderful. And thank you for all your kind words. I really appreciate it. I'm doing what I'm compelled to do. It's important for me. And, it's nice to hear back from people that they're benefiting it and from it, enjoying it. That's really, really incredible. And I'm so glad that you're finding some relief, because can you imagine a world now without any of these alternative beliefs, without your awakening, without knowing what it gives you hope, it gives you purpose, and we're all in this together, making the world a better place. And I'm just lucky enough to have you guys in the same province as me, in the same country. And but I feel just as close to people all over the world. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful movement. So with that, I want to just make one announcement, and that is we have 3 more weeks of workshops. We have step 2 and step 1, and then we'll do a conclusion or a wrap up. I'm thinking of making the conclusion wrap up a live video so that the listeners and the viewers can join us and offer their comments and experiences. And then after that, I'm going to start doing a live Q&A community building show every Sunday at noon. So for anyone who wants to join us, and I'm going to get StreamYard so that I can actually show the comments I want to feature right on the screen. And we can have more discussions and get more into the woo-woo and the space and the weirdness of reality. And so that's coming up too. So stay tuned. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, so you'll get the notifications on when that's all going to start happening. So I'll just turn the floor over to you folks. If you want to talk about what you're doing, what you've got going on. Congratulations, Don. You got over 100 subscribers on YouTube, and that's happened fast. It took me 5 years to get my first 54 subscribers, man. Look at you, just in a matter of weeks. You're doing real well. So tell us all about what you're up to and where people can find you.
Yeah, it's all come together since January was the first airing of the roundtable. I had 2 subscribers. I'm now at 102. And those of you that did catch the part of my live stream that aired, I apologize for the reception issues, but there was literally the number 100 and then 2 extra candles because all of you guys count. But it literally just came about like after I was on Rob's show. I was like, okay, this is fascinating, but this is what I think. I wonder if there's anybody else that wants to talk about what they think. And then it's snowballed into like Spin and I talked about her show and my second and third and fourth show. Like it just kind of multiplied into this thing. And I'm like, but wait, there's more, right? And it just kind of keeps happening like that. Like I run into random interviews or just it's an absolutely wonderful time to be in this community because everybody is getting these downloads and everybody is having some type of information to share. So I might just pull a show out of the back pocket of my jeans and go, okay, I don't know what to call this, but here's this guest, right? Because everybody needs to hear what this person is about to say. And that's probably going to be the situation with my buddy Lee. I'm not sure what we're going to call it the first time he goes on the internet. He is a very funny, straightforward hippie from the way back. And he's got some things that he's been waiting his entire life to tell the universe. So I'm really excited that might end up on Rumble, honestly.
Name your one show like mid-airing.
Yeah, he will like throw things out and name, But yeah, it's been an absolutely phenomenal ride and it's still going. So all of my content is on Rumble and YouTube right now. I'm trying to get caught up with Rumble. It just my phone and Rumble do not get along, so I'm having quite some difficulty getting videos on there. But yeah, it's coming. I've made an entire 4 cents off of Rumble. Thank you guys. That helped. But yeah, it's all coming. I'm continuing to help Spinja with her editing, and that can.
So
before Spinja starts, tell us again for those who are on audio where they can find you, Don.
Oh, it's on Rumble and on YouTube at March 4th Productions, and it's the number 4 with TH. And that's where you can find all of my shows and wackiness, some of the commercials I make. Sometimes it's our dogs. The dogs get more views than I do. They've got a couple of videos that are almost 5,000 views, and it's one is literally just our youngest pup watching Back to the Future 2. And like he watches it in fascination every time we throw it on. So but yeah, it's all on there.
Awesome. Thank you.
So for me, you can find me on Instagram at Canadian Spinja and then on Facebook at Canadian.Spinja. I did an interview yesterday with Heidi Pop. She does a podcast and she's an educator out of California. And she was talking about the program that she's involved with right now, and it's a different way of teaching children, which I thought it was fascinating, and so I absolutely wanted to talk to her. Now, obviously, it's a little too late to make those decisions for Ray. But I'm coming from a place where I know, well, I'll be honest, I have a friend she just had a baby in August, and then she has a little guy who's about 2 years old. She's going to be having to make these decisions. So my intention with my show is to ask the questions. If I was to do it all over again and just come from a place, and so yes, if if you're a parent or your grandparent, anybody that has a young child in your life, Heidi offered some amazing information, and then I think another format kind of popped out when I interviewed Brian Sang. He's doing the Full Disclosure Now conference, and he offered some valuable information, and it fit in, but it didn't. It's kind of hard to. So that's how the spin with Spinja popped up. So yeah, there's just a lot of, we just want to share information, and like we're asking the newbie questions, and I think that's why we're so busy, is because we really are just at the beginning where a lot of people are, but we're just asking the questions anyway. So
Wonderful. And you also have a YouTube channel as well, so the links will be below.
Yeah. Thank you.
And what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's Canadian Spinja.
Canadian Spinja. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, it's been great to get together with you folks, and just want to offer you a chance for any last minute words before we say goodbye.
Just thank you again for the opportunity, and I just want to say to the viewers and listeners, like the energy can be pretty thick at times, and it can feel discouraging, but just keep going, just keep pushing through. I'll be honest, like one of the reasons why I started doing videos, it's actually part of the manifestation. I got tired of being tired. I got tired of feeling exhausted and feeling drained. And it's like, if I'm going to be tired anyway, I'm going to do something for myself and for other people. And so my channel is me saying, I want to pull in my farm, so I'm going to start talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just push through. You can do it. It's coming.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Where there's shit, there's a pony, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I want to thank the listeners and the viewers so much for joining us today, and much love to you. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next time for step 2 on quantum health transformation. Bye-bye, everybody.
Lion only makes you hurt. Denying only makes it worse. Love and surrender seem the fastest way to bring an end to bitter, painful days. Somewhere down the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil. You will thrill to hear your calling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.